The old man named Ove was in the process of ending his life. He put on a handsome suit, applied skincare products, and then hung up the rope loop. That was it. Ove was about to kick off the chair when he heard someone making a noise outside the house. He stretched out his head and saw someone driving a car. Ove got angry and cursed. Driving is not allowed here. The new neighbor opposite didn't know the rules. The old man had to help him direct, but the driver was too stupid and hit the mailbox again. Ove had to help him drive, and he reversed into the garage and left handsomely. Going back to the room to continue, Ove put on the rope loop again, but the neighbors gathered in front of the window, and a little girl ran to the window to look. He quickly put away the rope for fear of scaring the child, and the plan fell through again. A few months ago, Ove's beloved wife passed away, and he was recently fired by the company. He had no hope in life, so he didn't want to live. He is a typical Nordic man with a cold and hard temper. When others greet Ove, he will say, "Stop arguing." The next day, Ove was more cautious. He closed the curtains and stuck his head into the rope loop again. Unexpectedly, the doorbell rang. Ove wanted to ignore it, but the doorbell kept ringing. He opened the door angrily and found that it was a child. He had to stop swearing. The child's parents also showed up. It turned out that it was the new neighbor who brought him food and asked to borrow a ladder, so Ove had to borrow it impatiently. At this time, the old woman from the opposite house came to him again and asked him to help fix the heating. It seemed that everyone was trying to stop him. Ove got angry and shouted, "Enough! Really enough! Everyone get out of here!" Ove returned home and looked at his wife's photo, feeling very sad. He had made up his mind and hung up the rope again. This time, no one interrupted him, and his life began to flash back. Since childhood, Ove lost his mother at a very young age and could only depend on his father. His father didn't like to talk. One day, Ove was standing on the railway track, and a train was coming behind him. His father yelled crazily. When Ove walked away, his father hugged him for the first time. He hugged him for a long time. Some men's love is hidden in their hearts. A few years later, Ove grew up and showed his report card to his father. His father was so happy that he showed off his report card everywhere until he was hit by a train. Life is a joke, and Ove continues to be teased by fate. A demolition official burned down Ove's house because he refused to move. Ove was homeless and could only work on the railway and sleep in the train every day. Unexpectedly, at the lowest point in his life, he encountered the best thing in his life. A woman. She wore red high heels, red lips, blue eyes, full of spirit. She always showed a little bit of front teeth, and smiled like an angel. She helped him buy the ticket, and gave him a bag when he got off the train. Looking straight at him, Ove was a wooden man, but he also knew that he fell in love with this woman.